Greetings, everyone. Well, it's closer look time again. Yes, a few weeks back I did a massive update video in which I got all of this stuff, and I promised you we'd do a closer look. Well, you're looking at it. This is it. The wait is over. So let's not waste any time. My Friday the 13th collection today on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Now, I was pretty late to the Friday the 13th franchise. It came out just a little bit too early for me to really jump into it and have it be my franchise growing up. I was like 8 when the first one came out, so little too young. Although I know some kids get to watch spooky movies much younger. But, yeah, so for me, my big horror franchise growing up was actually A Nightmare on Elm Street, because I was 12 when the first one came out. So it was like the perfect age to be properly good and scared and traumatized by it right from the start, and then kind of grow up with the franchise over the years. But by that point, Friday the 13th already had a few movies out, and I've always had this thing where, like, well, if I'm going to start a franchise, I want to start at the beginning. So it was a long time before I finally got around to seeing them. Now, I had seen bits and pieces of them growing up when I probably really shouldn't have. Like, for example, I remember being at a family gathering at my grandparents' place. There's a bunch of aunts and uncles there, and the first Friday the 13th was on TV. And, I mean, obviously it would have been the TV cut, so it would have had most of the really gory bits cut out. But, yeah, so we watched a little bit of it, and I must have been like 9 years old at the time. So it was the final scene where the last girl is chasing down the killer with a machete, and she's about to swing the machete and chop the killer's head off, and just before it connects, Uncle changed the channel. So, of course, anybody who has been denied seeing scary bits of horror movies as a child will probably attest to this. When you don't see the thing, or you see it cut off just before the thing that's about to happen, your imagination kicks in, and the way you picture it in your imagination is far worse than anything they could ever show you on screen. So, of course, in my mind, I'm just picturing the most brutal decapitation in cinematic history. Head flying off in slow motion, blood spurting everywhere, chunks and bits of neck. And yeah, so then I went and slept over at my grandparents' place, and surprise, surprise, had screaming nightmares. My granddad was just like, well, shouldn't have shown him that movie. He was way too young to be seeing stuff like that. I mean, just look, he's having screaming nightmares now. I told you at the time. So anyway, needless to say, that image stuck in my brain forever. So there was one other far too young exposure to the franchise when it was probably about the same year, actually. 1981, I went to see some family movie with my dad. Now, I actually went on IMDb and looked up every movie released from 1981 to try to remember what movie it could have been. And I compared it to the release date of Friday the 13th Part 2, which came out that year. Because at the beginning of this family film, if you're curious, it was one of these three films, either The Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin, On the Right Track with Gary Coleman, or The Devil and Max Devlin with Bill Cosby and Elliot Gould. It was one of those, because those are the only three that came out before Friday the 13th Part 2 that year. So, prior to the movie, this nice, fun, innocent, G-rated family movie, they had the trailer for Friday the 13th Part 2. And now the trailer isn't particularly gory, it's just very dramatic.
Friday the 13th, 12 of her friends were murdered.
And it goes on and on about how the body count is going up.
The body count continues. 14.
You're all doomed.
And there's like a count up. as we see one dead body after another in the trailer. And there's two images that always stuck in my brain from that. Specifically, the moment where the wire goes down around the you're doomed guy's neck.
22. 23.
And another shot of Jason dragging someone's body down the stairs.
20. 21.
You just see the foot hitting the stairs as being dragged down. Those two images just got burned into my brain forever. And yeah, so that was my traumatizing first two experiences with the Friday the 13th franchise. Then over the years, I think I probably saw bits and pieces of some of the other ones on TV here and there, but I really don't remember. The first full Friday the 13th movie, or I guess Jason movie I saw, was Jason Goes to Hell. So the 9th one, after Paramount had sold it off to New Line. Well, it sold off Jason anyway. They couldn't use the Friday the 13th name. And yeah, and that was interesting. It was a strange introduction to the franchise, like proper introduction. And then a few years later, I saw Freddy vs. Jason actually in the theater. So hey, my franchise meets this other franchise that I have awareness of its existence but haven't really experienced much before. So it wasn't until I picked up this set, the Friday the 13th 8-movie collection, that I finally, millions of years later, sat down and watched the series proper. Now that said, I still have a couple more to watch, but I've watched most of them by this point. I've watched the first 6 a couple times through because they were awesome and I really enjoyed them a lot. And had to wait for the replacement discs to come in. For this set, there was a few discs that had some issues. We'll go into that in the closer look part of it. And yeah, so I don't know why I waited so long. I could have bought them on VHS. There was this set that came out a while back, this wonderful 12-movie collection in a tin, collector's tin. There was another version in a lunchbox. And just a really gorgeous set, which at the time had new transfers of most of the films. And yeah, so I don't know why I waited so long. I passed on that one, I think because I had heard that there were some issues with some of the transfers, with some of the image being cropped and things like that. So I just passed on it and regretted it for years. So then later picked up this, and then finally, this past Halloween, picked up this bad boy. So now I can sit down and enjoy the whole dang thing good and proper. And then of course I didn't just get that, I also got His Name Was Jason, Crystal Lake Memories, and the complete series of Friday the 13th. The series. Well, that's enough of me babbling. You guys probably want to get a closer look at all these goodies and see what all is in them. So let's head on down to the black table and take a closer look at my Friday the 13th collection. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Such a beautiful set. So we take a look on the side there, and on the back we got this beautiful artwork. Now of course, if you pre-ordered this set from Scream Factory, which way are we going here? We go this way. If you pre-ordered this set from Scream Factory, you could actually get a poster of this art. Let's just take a little look at how the full unwrapped artwork looks. Yeah, look at that. So yeah, if you pre-ordered from Scream Factory, you could have that on your wall right now. As such, I ordered mine through Amazon, so no poster for me. Oh well. Alright, so we have quite a lot to go through with this set. So let's, well, I guess we'll start at the beginning here. So, okay, so starting from the beginning, the original Friday the 13th from 1980. And there's the spine, very nice. And the back. So each one of these movies has quite a selection of extras. I'll just let you read the back there for yourself. It would take forever to go through absolutely everything. But brand new 4K transfer of this one. So very nice. When we crack it open, we've actually got, spin this around here so you can see a little better. There we go. Got 2 discs. And it is reversible artwork. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that poster before. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Yeah, and you actually get different artwork for the back as well. So, entirely up to you which one you would like to have. Generally speaking, I tend to just go with the, the common movie poster. But, I might flip it around at some point just to mix things up a bit. I don't know, whatever. Actually, what about the spine? Yeah, the spine actually has the alternate logo as well from the alternate poster, which is quite nice. I like little attention to detail like that. But yeah, Scream Factory definitely went all out with this set. No, not quite aligned. My OCD needs that to be as centered as possible. Alright, I guess that's as good as it gets. Okay, moving on to part 2. Yeah, this is the one that I saw the trailer for when I was 9 years old, and it thoroughly traumatized me. It was the one where the announcer was saying the body count keeps going up, and then he had like a count. It was like a countdown, but it was a count up of the body count, and it was like 29, 30, 31, and like each one would show like another gruesome death, but of course not the gruesome parts because it's a trailer. But I remember my dad, when we got back, it was like, I couldn't believe it. They had that trailer at the beginning of the movie. He was just like raging about it to my mom. It's like completely inappropriate for a family film. Like, what were they thinking putting that there? Yeah. And I mean, whatever movie it was we saw, it was one of the 3 that I mentioned. I don't recall specifically which one. But it was one of those. And any one of those is like very, not even peripherally related to anything horror. Funny enough, later that year, in 1981, Saturday the 14th came out. Now, if anything, it would have been more appropriate to have the trailer at the start of that, because at least it's peripherally related. However, Saturday the 14th didn't come out until several months after Friday the 13th Part 2. So, for the longest time, I actually thought that was the movie that the trailer was on, because it made sense. Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. The first time we've had this in true Blu-ray 3D. The previous Blu-ray release was in anaglyph 3D, so it wasn't as good. But there you go. And this was one of the discs that had a problem that you had to send away for a replacement. Specifically the 3D version. The title would not emerge from the screen properly. So, yeah, that has been fixed. Well, at least if you sent away for the replacement discs. That's a pretty cool cover there. Look at that. Just 3Ding all over you. I remember when Rosie and I watched this, we were quite amused by just how ridiculous the 3D gags got, where it was literally every 2 minutes there would be something shoving in your face. Even if it wasn't anything scary, it would just be like things flying at your face. There's a scene with a couple characters juggling. There's a scene with a guy doing some gardening at the beginning. It's like, let me get the handle of the hoe, like, right up in your face. Yeah, but I don't know. It was fun. Also has like the most 80s opening theme music. I absolutely love the opening theme music in this. Then we have Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and that was it. This was the last movie they ever did. Yeah, no, not even close. And there we go. Very nice. Once again, lots of extras. So I should mention this is the last of the ones in the new set that have new transfers. They only did new transfers for the first 4. No idea why. Maybe the others were, decent enough they didn't bother. But once again, reversible cover. Oh yeah. Remember back in the day when they would have like a little story on the movie posters? They really don't do that anymore. You look at some of the old school movie posters, and you can spend like 10 minutes just reading all the crap on the poster, like the little blurbs about the movie and the story and everything. But yeah, they don't really do that anymore. It's very, very minimal now. Also, the the trend of just having Photoshop laziness for the posters rather than having the beautiful hand-painted posters of yesteryear. Like this one, I think is this a photo? I think this is a photo, actually. But really cool. You know, simple, effective, eye-catching. I don't know. I like old school posters. And then we have Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, or the fake Jason one, as some fans call it. Yeah. Anyway, I actually kind of like this one. It's not bad. It kind of plays out like a giallo film, where it's kind of like a whodunit, where the murders are really gory and stuff, and it may or may not be Jason as the killer, or we might be seeing some red herrings. It's like a big mystery as to who the killer actually is in this. And I like that. I like that about it. But I can see why some fans don't like it. They want the real deal. So, I don't know. There we go. Yeah, I saw this poster quite a bit. If Jason still haunts you, you're not alone. But very nice. See, I like the attention to detail with these inserts, where it's not just that they have different movie posters on the cover, but they actually have different artwork on the back of all of them, which is really nice. Just that extra little touch, And, yeah. And where they used a different logo, they put a different logo on the spine. So that's pretty nice, too. I like that. Yeah, needless to say, I am overjoyed with this set, especially since I missed the old tin set. So it's great to finally have all the movies in high definition, not just the first 8. So here, of course, we have Friday the 13th, Part 6. This is a really cool poster. I like this one. This is also a really good movie. I actually really like this one a lot. Yeah, really good stuff. I know some folks I chat with over on Twitch say that this is one of their favorites, actually, one of their top 3. But yeah, very good stuff. A lot of fun. This, I think, this is the last one that Rosie and I watched. Oh no reversible cover with this one. I guess they didn't do very many posters. We just have a shot of Jason. There you go. Anyway. Okay, I guess they don't all have reversible covers. I'm kind of surprised, but to be honest, I don't know of any, I don't recall ever seeing another poster for this other than this one, That's quite striking poster art, too. That's really nice. I like that a lot. And then we have Jason versus Carrie. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Yeah, apparently they wanted to do Jason versus Carrie, but it was a rights thing. They couldn't get the rights to Carrie, so they kind of did the Carrie wannabe character instead. So, I don't know. This is one of the ones I still haven't seen, actually, so I can't give you my thoughts on it. I'll do, reviews of the whole damn series at some point. Don't ask me when, but it's definitely on the to-do list. So I think it would be fun kind of going in-depth with all these. That's a pretty good shot, though. Jason wielding the axe. It's kind of funny because the stereotypical view of Jason is that he's the guy in the hockey mask with the machete. But it wasn't until quite a bit later that the machete kind of became his weapon of choice. It used to be, especially when you go back to the early ones, Jason didn't care what the hell weapon he was using. He just grabbed whatever was on hand and kill you with it. He was literally the guy who uses anything to kill you. As long as you be dead at the end, that's all that matters. And then here we have Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, also known as When Paramount Was Really Stretching for Ideas. Yeah. Haven't seen this one either. I don't know anyone who likes this other than as kind of a cheese fest. But I'm looking forward to checking it out because, hey, I like cheese. It's good. It's tasty. Look at that. Very nice. So, yeah, no reversible covers on these. They even got lazy with the covers, with the posters. 6, 7, and 8 only had one poster. It just shows how much horror was being, disregarded as a genre worth having anything to do with when you got to the late 80s. Come on. Love horror. Give us some respect, damn it. And then Paramount was like, yeah, we don't know what to do anymore. Let's just sell it to New Line. And New Line gave us Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Kind of like Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare. Which came out around the same time, I think. So this was, New Line wanted it because they'd been talking about doing a Freddy versus Jason, or fans have wanted a Freddy versus Jason for a long time. Thought it would be fun. New Line was like, hey, maybe I don't know, maybe we could get the rights to Jason. I don't know. Let's see if we can make it happen. And of course they did. But we'll talk about that in a little bit here. So we got Jason Goes to Hell, the theatrical version and the unrated version. Great to finally have the unrated version on Blu-ray here. I think it might have been in the old set too. I don't recall. But this was one of the other discs that had a problem with it. There was actually a gore shot in the unrated version. See, look at this. Got a nice spine logo there. See that? Yeah. Very good. Everybody remembers this part. Nom, 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 nom. Delicious. Getting some protein. And then, yeah. So again, at least with the different artwork there. I don't know. Is there that big of a difference between the covers here? I remember there was something about... Oh, actually, the artwork is the same, but the wording is different. So I remember there was some stink about this poster originally, and it's like, the thing coming out of his face looks a little too much like a penis. Can you change that? It's like, no. Do you H.R. Giger at all? Like, I mean, horror is full of phallic imagery and things that suggest other things. And, like, come on, like, get your head out of your ass. It's horror. It's supposed to horrify you. And I mean, if a big giant snake penis coming out of someone's face isn't horror, I don't know what is. Anyway, I think it's a cool cover. And finally, the pinnacle of the entire franchise, Jason Goes to Space, aka Jason X. This is another one I haven't seen yet. This was another one that had problems. There was a kill scene. Someone is in I was going to say a beanbag. Someone gets killed by a beanbag chair. No, that was Doctor Who, Terror of the Otons. It wasn't a beanbag chair, it was a plastic chair. But anyway, someone gets killed in a sleeping bag. And, of course, you can't see the person in the sleeping bag, so it's kind of all about the sound of that scene. Kind of important. It was missing the sound. Yeah, well, some of the sound anyway. So, yeah, I had to get a disc replacement on that as well. Now, one thing I will do, just when we finish looking at all the individual things here, is I will show you how to tell which disc you have. So it says Evil gets an upgrade. Evil gets an upgrade. What's the difference? Why did they even bother doing this as reversible? Oh, I guess for the spines, because the spines have the sort of standard Friday the 13th font there. But then on the other side, they're more specific to the movie, which is actually kind of cool. It's a nice little attention to detail. So, very nice indeed. Yeah, a lot of people thought this was going to be Freddy versus Jason, because of course the final shot of Jason Goes to Hell, and I think that was the original intention. But I don't know what the delay was. It's actually books have literally been written about what all the delays were with Freddy vs. Jason. Well, it went through 8 bajillion different scripts and was stuck in production hell for a long time, but it happened. Yes, they actually did Freddy vs. Jason. I did do a review of this a while back, and yeah, it'll be fun actually rewatching this, because when I originally watched it, I hadn't seen very much of the Friday the 13th movies before. I'd seen, the ones that I mentioned and the bits that I mentioned, but that was it. That was all I had seen. So now having more context for the story of Jason, I look forward to revisiting this. So there we go. This is quite nice, being here in Canada, because the Canadian Blu-ray release we got was basically bare bones. It did not have a lot of the extras that were on the old 2-disc DVD edition. But as far as I'm aware, everything's been ported over to this. So it's quite a nice selection of extras on here. So, very good stuff. I really like Freddy vs. Jason. I don't like to use the term guilty pleasure. I just enjoy what I enjoy. I liked it. I mean, it's It's two titans of horror beating the living shit out of each other for an hour and a half. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. I did not go into this expecting it to be high art. It is not high art. But is it fun? Yes, it's fun. Would it have been nice to have Kane Hodder as Jason instead of whoever they got? Sure. But it's still a fun movie. And then we have the Friday the 13th remake starring Derek Mears as Jason. I'm a huge fan of Derek Mears ever since his Channel 101 days back in the day. It would take far too long to explain what Channel 101 is, but suffice it to say, he did a lot of stuff there, and it was a lot of fun. And then, of course, more recently, he was Swamp Thing in the Swamp Thing series, the sadly short-lived. So this one I'm actually really looking forward to watching. I've heard it's actually pretty decent as far as remakes go. And basically takes most of its inspiration from the first 4 movies, the original Jason saga. So, yeah, so kind of looking forward to seeing their take on it in this. And again, with the logo. Make it a little more relevant to the specific movie. And there we go. And it looks like this is just the, it kind of looks like this is just the old Killer Cut disc that was available a while back. So, yeah, Scream Factory often does that. They'll just kind of repackage existing discs. I know they did that with some of the Halloween discs and stuff like that. So they'll have like one of new content or new transfer or whatever, then they'll have a bunch of the old ones as well. So you kind of get a mix. But, yeah, very cool. Looking forward to checking that one out. And then finally, last but most certainly not least, we have bonus material. Now, I would assume if they're going to do like a movies-only edition of this collection, like they did with the Halloween set, that these discs will not be included. So these discs have quite a bit of stuff on them. You got a whole bunch of interviews and stuff like that. So if we just kind of take a look, I'll just slide the insert out again. So there we go. 2 Blu-ray discs of bonus goodies. Very nice. And there we go. Iconic moment from the end of the first movie right there. Very nice. So what all do we have on here? Let's just take a quick look. We got a new interview with composer Henry Manfredini, new location featurette, Return to Crystal Lake, the Making Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th Chronicles, Secrets Galore Behind the Gore, documentary Slice and Dice, the slasher film forever, documentary Scream Queens, horror heroines exposed, Crystal Lake Victims Tell All, Tales from the Cutting Room, Friday Artifacts and Collectibles, and Jason Forever. So quite a pile of stuff on there, and I'm pretty sure those are, good length documentaries as well, not just like little featurette fluff pieces. But yeah, they definitely went all out for these. Does it say the? Yeah, it doesn't say the total running time on the bonus content. I know sometimes discs will say that. They'll say like how much running time is it, but they didn't in that case. And then we have this, which is a lovely booklet of all kinds of goodies about the films. This is very kind of reminiscent of what we get with Arrow and Criterion sets and stuff like that. Just have some essays about the movie and all kinds of production photos and shots from the movies and stuff like that. Lovely glossy paper. You're doomed. Doomed. I was so miffed that he got killed in the second movie. I was like, really? But the crazy old you're doomed guy. Come on. Such a wonderful trope. Anyway. It was fun while he lasted. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of giving you a quick skim here. Quite a lot to cover in this set. But I mean, it's a huge set. It's beautiful. So, needless to say, limited edition at the time of this recording, which is I don't know, a couple weeks before you're seeing the video, I think. It's already going for a couple $100. When I bought it, it was brand new. I got it for, I think it was 146 Canadian. It was basically a big Halloween treat to myself. That was like my big Halloween purchase, and everything else kind of went on hold. So I did not want to miss it. But that's Canadian, by the way, Canadian dollars, if some of you are gasping at the price. Yeah. So it would have been a little less in the States in US dollars. But there we go. Very nice. And then finally, just the backing of the case there. Yeah, so there's quite a... And that's upside down. There we go. Sorry. Right side up for me isn't always right side up for you. So there you go. So quite a list of extras there. And as you can see, those are spread largely across the discs. Just kind of go like that, I think. We'll pull back a smidge. All right, so I put this in the side like that. And it falls over like that now. And then we put the booklet in. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to put it on this end. There we go. This is up. I get all turned around because you guys are the other way around from me. Okay, so I kind of have to hold everything upside down to show you right side up. So put all of these back in there. Nice sturdy hard box there as well. It's very good. I like that Scream Factory is using those hard boxes now rather than the flimsy boxes they used to use. So, yeah, definitely makes a difference. A lot more sturdy on the shelf. And, I don't know, it just makes it a higher quality product. I mean, considering the premium price you're paying for these things, you kind of expect the packaging to warrant that. There we go. And that is that. The Friday the 13th Ultimate Collection from Scream Factory. But wait, there's more. Okay, now, we're going to have to get super up close and personal here because I promised to show you a little something on how you can tell which discs you've got in your set. Now, as we know, the erroneous discs in the Friday the 13th set were Friday the 13th Part 3, the 3D version specifically, Jason Goes to Hell, the unrated version specifically, and Jason X. Okay, so first things first, here's how to tell if you have the erroneous disc. Now, you notice there's all this writing around the edge. Well, right at the tail end, just spin this a little bit here. Right at the tail end, we have this product number. In this case, 2131150. So that is the unique product number for Friday the 13th Part 3 3D. Okay? So this is the erroneous disc. This is the one with the problem. If you got the replacement disc, then that product number will be a little different. Look at that. Same product number, but with an R1 at the end of it. Aha! Well, let's take this one out. Put that one in. And there we go. And it's the same thing with the other discs. So, Jason Goes to Hell. We have this product number. The corrected disc, we have this product number. So you want to see that little R1 at the end. And that will indicate that it's, I don't know, replacement 1 or revision 1 or writerer 1. Yeah. And then finally, with Jason X, that's the product number there. And that's the revised version. So you want to make sure that those 3 discs have the little R1 at the end. And then, well, if you do, then you're good to go. You've got the corrected discs. If you don't have that, however, if it's still the numbers without the R1, then you're probably going to want to contact Shout Factory and get replacements. It's a pretty easy process to do. It took me, I don't know, about a month and a half, but I'm also in Canada, so it took a little longer. But if you like, what I'll do is I'll include the link in the description. You just need to provide proof of purchase. like a scan of your receipt or something, or your Amazon invoice or whatever, and just fill out a little form, and then they'll send you the replacement discs after a little while. Yeah, I got a few additional items here, of course. I wanted to show you just really quickly the 8 movie collection, which has been my set for a while now. So this is basically just slipcover, very nice, and just regular, slightly thicker keep case. This, of course, is the Canadian edition, which is why it has Vendredi 13 on it. And yeah, pretty basic Paramount packaging here. Nothing spectacular. Blue label for Blu-ray, gray label for DVDs. This is Blu-ray only, so it's all like that. And there you go. And that's pretty much it. And these are the same transfers that were in the old tin set as well, of course. But it does not include Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X or Freddy vs. Jason, because those are all owned by New Line. So that's that. So next up, we have a pair of documentaries. We have His Name Was Jason, which is about a 90-minute long documentary all about the franchise. Very nice. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of additional features. This is the 2-disc edition. I think there is a 1-disc edition that just has the main feature on it, but this is the one you want. This did get a Blu-ray release overseas. We did not get that release here. There's no insert booklet. And there's the 2 discs. And that's that. So it is quite a nice companion piece, especially since most, if not all, of this material is not on the Scream Factory set. And finally, based on the book of the same name, we have Crystal Lake Memories, which is from the people who brought us the outstanding documentary about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Never Sleep Again. So this is really good stuff. You got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours of content on here. Yeah, the documentary, it says, is 400 minutes long. So that's like, what, 6 hours and 20 minutes, something like that. I don't know if that's actually the documentary length or if they're including the length of the extras as well. But anyway, that's a lot of content on here. So this is your ultimate in-depth look at the entire franchise, essentially. The whole dang works. And if the Never Sleep Again documentary is any indication, I expect that this will be similarly comprehensive. I really enjoyed that one, so I'm looking forward to digging into this one. And there we go, just some other stuff from the same folks, the same publisher. So, yeah, and there's Never Sleep Again right there. And a few other titles as well, some of which I have, either those editions or other editions. And some I do not, but probably will pick up at some point. All right. Last, but most certainly not least, we have Friday the 13th, the series. And there we go. So this is the complete first season. There's been a couple releases of this. I wanted this one because I think it has cooler package art. If we just take a look here briefly, this is the re-release version, which Paramount put out, or CBS Video rather, put out in a single oversized keep case, much like their Star Trek collections and their Twilight Zone collection, a bunch of other ones that they re-released. So a single keep case with just fairly plain black and white artwork. I like this because basically this is a cursed object series where it's an antique store and there's a couple young people and an old dude who are trying to track down all of the objects that were sold in the past that carry curses with them and to recover them and break the curse. But the thing that's cool about this cover is the cover has this skull made up of all the cursed objects from that season, which is really cool. I like that. That's a really creative idea. And then there we go, a little description on the back. Very nice. And then inside, oh hey, look, there's those gray discs that Paramount likes to do when it's DVD. Yeah, they're nothing if not consistent. And that's that. And then on the insert, or the the reverse of the insert, we actually have the list of all the episodes. So very nice. Little descriptions of each one. And that's that. I don't think there's any extras on here. Oh, no, there's a little bit. They got the original network launch promos and a sales presentation. So just basically some pitch stuff that they used to sell the show back in the day. Hold on a second. I just got to figure out which way this goes. There we go. But yeah, I watched this a little bit when it was originally on. I thought it was really good. I always wanted to see more of it. There was some rumors that they were thinking of bringing Jason into it in some way, like maybe that his hockey mask had cursed him, or it was cursed, or something like that. But they never really got it sorted out. Some kind of rights issue, I'm guessing. But yeah, so they could use the name, but not Jason, I guess. And there you go. So I mean, at the very least, we have each disc separate from each other on these trays, which is quite nice. I like that. And if we take a look here, get the list of all the episodes there. So yeah, I really wanted to be comprehensive as far as getting all the Friday the 13th stuff that I didn't have. So even though this is, you know, related in name only, I still wanted it because, you know, it's a fun show. And finally, the final season. Yeah, so only 3 seasons. And this was actually filmed, I believe, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where I was living at the time when it was on. Which is pretty cool. A lot of stuff was filmed there at the time. Very, it was kind of the Hollywood North during the 80s and 90s. Oh, look at that. Fell off. Just put that back on there. Yeah. Gotta hate it when that happens, eh? And there we go. Last few episodes. Slightly shorter season for the final season, but that's okay. I think they were doing a little bit of reinvention, recast the male lead. No idea why. But usually when they start recasting shows like that, you know that the end is nigh. It's like, uh-oh, they're reinventing stuff. They're doomed. Or when, like, the big popular main actor who drew people to the show in the first place leaves, and the rest of it is carried by the supporting cast. I'm looking at you, Sliders. Anyway, there you go, Friday the 13th, the series. So, if we pull back a little ways, let's see if we can get a good look. So there is the Friday the 13th. I should put it over here so we don't have the shadows. Friday the 13th. The collection. His name was Jason, and Crystal Lake Memories, and Friday the 13th, the series. There we go. That was a lot of stuff, but one heck of an awesome collection. And there you have it. So, yeah, definitely many, many hours of gory viewing enjoyment there. Yeah, I gotta say again, like, I'm really thrilled to finally be sitting down and checking out this franchise, because I know so many people are huge fans, and Jason is their franchise, and it's really special to them. And it, to be fair, is one of the big notable franchises that kind of kicked off the new wave of horror in the 80s. So it's a notable one, you know, and it was one of the first ones to give us, like, a really iconic killer character. You know, of course, we had Michael Myers from a couple years before, but they hadn't really started with the sequels at that point. There was just really the first one, and then they did the first couple Friday the 13th, and then they started doing the sequels for Halloween around the same time. But, you know, Jason was really kind of the first one that took off as a horror icon, ever since, you know, the classic monsters way back in the day. So it's great to finally be able to experience this franchise and this absolute wealth of behind-the-scenes information, so you can get all kinds of stuff about the making of it and all the behind-the-scenes stories and whatnot. And then, of course, good old Cursed Antiques series, Friday the 13th, the series, which has nothing to do with the movies, but it's still fun anyway. That one I actually did watch quite a bit when it was originally on, and always really enjoyed it. Anyway, that is it for this week's Closer Look. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, So we'll see you next time. So thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day. And I will see you next time. Oh, and if you'd like to add any of these to your collection, there are, of course, Amazon links down below in the description. And using my Amazon links does help to support the show. So thank you very much for doing that. Alrighty. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.